This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 229 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and I'm your Jack Skellington of the podcast. Eric Eddie Gettinger. With me, as always, is the Crown Prince of Terror, Alex Oogie Boogie Arona.
It's time, my minions. We can finally take over all the holidays. All for me. Take that, Bone Daddy.
What are you gonna do with Easter, my dude?
Oh, I have so many plans for Easter. All the rotten eggs. It's gonna be smelly.
Ugh.
Also, how do you feel about the nickname Bone Daddy? We good with it? We out of it?
For
No?
whom? For
Yes.
me?
Yeah.
I,
Like, we gotta if we do your personality, we can make it a Bone Daddy situation.
that's not the worst kind of daddy I've ever been called, so...
I mean, you could be get into fedoras, show a lot more chest hair, deep V's. Seems like a Bone
Hold
Daddy
on. How many
outfit.
buttons until I get in trouble?
Well, again, you got to go pre-belly button. You got to go like Mark Hamill in the documentary.
Like, is this...
What was that documentary?
This is already too much, right?
What was that documentary where Mark Hamill had the super deep V that almost went to belly button?
Hey, let's go ahead and welcome the dual personality mayor of the podcast, Joel DeWitt.
This is going wonderfully. I mean, terribly. Really, really terrible. Just awful. Oh, why are we doing this? We've gotten to Bone Daddy, where I feel like we're already at the threshold here.
Yep, that's foreshadowing, folks. Finally, bring the jolliest man around, Alec Sandy Claus Parks.
This seems out of season. Let's save this ho 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 for a few months.
You like that? Joel's just like, nope. No. I want to make a product that you'll be able to show your family someday and be like, this is what I did for hours a week.
Can you believe it? What a waste of time.
I'll give them plenty more reasons to cry at my funeral.
Will you just have episodes of Super GG Radio playing the whole time?
I hope not. I hope we're...
That's not how I want to be remembered.
I want all of us to be wiped from the planet before that happens.
Whoa.
With the heat death of the universe. I can't find this documentary.
No, they'll remember us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Or fortunately. It depends on how you look at it. All right. This week we have a special surprise in early adopters. Is this the week we finally slow jam the news, Alex?
I have done more research. Maybe.
And then you know what? I'm going to switch it up. And then Alex gets dunked on in the backlog.
Why is that a thing?
Gonna get Robo dunked on. Oh.
No. I don't like
Hold
Robo
on.
dunking at
Where's
all.
Where's my air horn?
I don't even like regular dunking.
Where's my air horn? Oh, that's a surprise just for the Twitch viewers. Mm-hmm.
That's a lie though. I do like dunking. Dunking's pretty cool.
Dunking what? Breadsticks?
We're not talking about cookies.
I was gonna say Oreos, but also the slam dunk contests are pretty impressive. Like overall, when they dunk the ball, posterizing is cool. Where you shove your hand in someone's face while you dunk.
Alex,
Tongue out. What?
be honest. If you had one of those tiny little basketball hoops set up, would you dunk on your child?
Again, called posterizing. It was a thing. People used to take a little.
Would you dunk?
Put it behind someone when they're not looking, and you would just.
He's
dunk.
avoiding the question.
Would you dunk on her?
Yes. Well, yes, I would probably dunk the baby. That's the plan. There's a plan in there, and dunking the baby is part of it, and dunking on the baby.
You know, if you put a basket of clothes underneath the
already done it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I did it.
I've dunked. Yeah.
Make it safe for everybody. Nobody gets hurt.
I mean, it's less fun that way, but yes.
Oh. I'm not going to be the fun police this week. But I will take us over to Early Adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games that are just so crazy. These puzzle games. I don't know what happened to me in this old age, but I didn't realize I needed it. Hey guys, let me tell you about American Arcadia.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Who did this to me? Which one of you guys?
This is Joel.
This is Joel?
I subjected you to this? Is that what we're saying?
Joel, I love this game so much. It's not even funny.
So much. Oh, my God, so much. I love this game.
It's like that moment of the Truman Show when he realizes that he's in a TV show. Mm-hmm. This is a walking simulator with puzzle elements. You're all the time.
That's not what that is. Walking simulator is a whole other thing.
I'm calling it a walking simulator.
That's
I don't know. I like to categorize this as fun, though. Whereas
yeah, you haven't played a walking.
But we have to classify what kind of fun, Alec. It's
like, have you played a walking simulator? You played like Siberia? Those games are boring, and it's first person.
Well, this is not third person.
This is like Limbo. This is like Inside. This is like
Little Nightmares.
It's a very slow, sluggish 2D platformer with puzzle elements that are meant to drive the story forward.
First person elements.
Yes,
which is
a little
super duper cool.
Yeah.
That breaks up the monotony.
What are you doing in this?
Well, you go to work.
Well, how do you get there?
Walking.
Oh, okay. What are you constantly doing?
You're calling Skyrim a walking simulator. That's not how this works.
I didn't call
Skyrim isn't a walking simulator.
We heard it. Mario is a walking simulator.
That's what I.
Lies
that's
of
what I
P
think.
is not a walking simulator.
It sure is. I'm walking everywhere I go. I'm not flying anywhere. That's for sure.
Are you Christopher Walken?
Yep. Right into that joke. All right, American Arcadia. Your character is going to work. He's ready to get some stuff done, but his desk mate is gone. He's won a trip. What is it? A travel experience through the company?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. Sits down at his desk, and what do you know? Technology doesn't work. So he gets up and he takes a look at the giant billboard, because this whole building is like a propaganda. They've got televisions going, telling you about the company.
It's like very 70s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a lot of browns and oranges, big boxy computers that are all in one piece. It's a real vibe to it. Bell bottoms and real swooshy hair. And he all of a sudden, one of the big billboards says, it's like what is it? His desk partner, who won a trip. They like the billboard cuts in half and like it's not correct. Like part of it doesn't.
Yeah, it says
right.
Gus is dead.
Gus is dead. And it points arrows, and he follows the arrows, and turns out he's being Truman showed, and someone is trying to get him out. And from there, it kind of like flips back and forth between a Limbo style walking, running, jumping, puzzle solving, to a first person, the person who's trying to get him out, walking around and trying to solve problems like get into the server room and do these other things to help the guy. So it actually adds another mechanic to his running and jumping platforming by adding in a camera mode to move things around him. So at a certain point, like, he's on a rooftop and he has to run. You get on that crane. You get on the crane, and then you go into camera mode, move the crane while he's being chased so that the guys can't chase him. Super fun and exciting. But at the same time, I do feel like some of these are a little tight on the windows of like what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So with the crane puzzle, you're being chased, you have to get on the crane. And then you have to get into camera mode like that and spin the crane away, or else someone gets on the crane and you're screwed. And it's pretty close to automatic death. On top of that, you spin the crane, and a second guard is going around.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're going around, there is a second platform you have to raise. So you have to spin the crane, switch to the platform, raise the platform so that when the crane finally spins the other side, you can jump off, get on the platform, and then keep running. If you miss that platform raise, the guard is waiting for you and he kills you there.
But when you do it, it looks real cool.
It does. But again, at the same time, I just have to ask: is that real? It's a tight window, and there's no way you're going to get it on the first go, and that to me feels a little cheap. Just because I want to get that one moment where like, oh, I did that first try, sick.
I think that you will. I think the demo was just trying to show you like, hey, things are going to get pretty crazy.
Well, again, the game's like I finished the demo, which I don't often do, and it said, "Do you want a wish list?" And I was like, "Take me to the site, and right now this needs to happen. I'm going to wish list this.
Take all my money right now."
Exactly, but I just want to say that one the slice that we saw, I felt like the windows on these puzzles were just a little. It could be. Give me a little more play on that, and I'd feel better about being able to do it first try.
I think it's a question of game design throughout. So
I thought you were going to say it was a skill issue.
No, we already know that.
I can't blame that. I struggled with that part, but I felt very good once I figured out. Actually, you have to raise the platform as the thing's turning, the crane's turning. Timing.
Yeah, so you really got to multitask those two events, and then also at the same time be ready to swap to the guy to actually run and jump the platforms.
Yeah, it felt a little weird because you're moving the guy on the platform, but then you're using your other side of the brain to then select the different parts of the backdrop, and I didn't always feel like my inputs collided with the way they should have. But I think that your question of difficulty, it's going to be a measure of good game design. So is it something that in this case, it felt like a close window because you didn't quite get the gist of it, but after you complete this, things moving forward will feel intuitive, or that they'll, commonsensically escalate the difficulty in a way that layers on top of each other, like you're learning lessons throughout. So I think it's contingent on that. This demo is very smart. Mm-hmm. These guys have a clear sense of humor that shines through it. The aesthetic is fantastic. The characters are funny and interesting to where the actions happening are sort of tertiary to that anyway. It's just the hallmark of a quality experience. And I, like you, Alex, I wish listed this the moment I finished this. Mm-hmm. It's very good.
Yeah.
There are certain ones where I've kind of been like on the fence. I don't know. Well, I'll throw it on there. Maybe I'll buy it. Maybe I don't. This was like, day one, notify. I need this in my hands yesterday. This is a great idea. The first person parts were pretty smart. I was very stumped. There's so when you're first person in this case, the major puzzle was you have to go to the server room, so you can get him access to the next part of the puzzle. And they give you so many interactable pieces, like, here's a book, and then she gives you like a sentence and a half of just detail about like the world. I remember when this happened. There's my sister. Yeah, that office is where the boss is. They're a pretty nice boss. It just gives you a lot of extra. Like I was trying to click around just to hear more because I was so interested. It's a futuristic world in Seattle, I guess. It was raining. Which also shows like the Truman Show-esque like-ness of it all, because he was in a sunny place and she was like in the rain. Mm-hmm. But then on top of that, the puzzle was you had to figure out how to get the password to get into the server room, and that took me way longer than it should have to figure it out.
Wait. You mean where you just like walked a foot to the left and then it was written on the guy's monitor?
Yes.
I might have walked around the floor too.
But the thing is, but the problem is, I had the right idea. I was looking at the boss's office, and he has stuff written on a whiteboard, and I was looking at that, and I was like, okay, it looks like this could be the keypad, and I see like colors on it, so maybe I got to hit the keys in that like little design that he has. I really was like trying to think it through, and it was the idea that I had. Just I was looking in the wrong spot, but at the same time, that is still a clever puzzle. That's still fun to me. When I got there, like I was a little frustrated, and then I figured it out, and I was like, "That's real funny."
No, that's
real funny. It's on a Post-it.
That's Alex. If you reach back into your mind, pray.
Yeah.
You know how many times you'd be like, oh man, I need a password, and you just go into the person's computer and it's like, here's all my passwords. Like, it's
or
not,
it's
not safe.
In Pray at one point you lift up the keyboard. That's a post-it on the bottom of the keyboard.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's kind of, but also
That's what people do.
guilty. There is. I don't. Mine isn't. Like, I don't have any high security. I'm not high security government doc. So, but it is at the same time like, oh my keyboard. Oh, there's my password.
Hey, that's in
No
case
one's
of
gonna mess with my stuff.
Yeah, that's in case of an emergency. We're talking about like this guy obviously works in a very particular building that shouldn't let people in there, and he's just got his password hanging out. No, I thought that was real cool. Alex, I just want to clarify, when you said that you had to like, you were talking about thinking about moving your character at the same time that you were switching between the cameras and everything, because he'll move even as you're switching the cameras. Like, you can do two things at once.
Yes, you can. It was more that you like there are in one scene, that scene specifically, the crane scene. It was multiple interactables at once.
Yeah, there was also a red herring in there.
Yes, there was.
They're
but
retractable.
for me, it was hard for me to. Trust me, I tried that one.
Yeah.
But it didn't really help. But it was about thinking my brain to that point that I could, like, press a button, tab, like right bumper, right bumper, right bumper. Oh, I'm supposed to be moving my guy at the same time. That's hard. Like, I'm trying to figure out which one of these is the one I want to move and activate. That's where I was like, let's go.
Okay. Yeah, because as you're manipulating the cameras as this other character, you're still moving the main character along and doing whatever actions you need to. So you can, at one point, you have to grab a different, I guess they're cabinets, and move them along so that you can climb up on top of them. But that chase scene, guys, I thought it was real clever. And the way that they...
Especially considering that, like, it's also one of those, like, oh, how did I get here? Let me explain it to you. Like, it was like I'm reliving the past, and it was very cool. And also, just it ended with him jumping off of like a building into a pool. That's pretty cool, guys.
But then what he says,
pretty cool guy thing to do.
He says after that, it's like, oh, that's kind of crazy that you would do that. And he's like, yeah, but that's not the craziest thing I did. So now I've got this picture in my mind of like, how can you outdo jumping 10 stories into a swimming pool as a desk jockey? Like, what is going to happen to this guy?
What else did you do? What else did you do, man? I gotta know.
I'm excited to know what happens.
And also the character outside. Well, I don't remember her name. Do you guys remember her name?
No.
She gave you an alias.
She was real quirky and fun and like kind of punky. Like, I think she had dyed hair, like a red color or something, or like a purple. She was real fun and like had a lot of like info about the world, and also her history being what she did before, what her degree is, stuff like that. That I really was like, okay, I want to learn more. I'm on board with this character as well as the main character. I felt like the both were very interesting enough to keep me engaged.
Yeah. Guys, American Arcadia. It's coming out next month.
The 15th.
Because we needed more games. We needed more games.
Of what?
November.
The 15th of
November.
Okay.
Said next month.
I was like, it's not in... I was like, okay, I spaced for a second, but I was like, not in 3 days.
Come on, Choom.
Don't tell me 3 days. If it's in 3 days, I'm so boned.
Why?
I need a break.
You need a break.
Games.
Don't you have like
coming out, man?
You got stacks on stacks on stacks in your backlog.
And you know what? I can't play any of it because I should be playing The Walking Dead season 1.
Yeah. Too bad.
I finished episode 1 already.
Good for you.
But there's how many? 5 episodes?
15 just for you. You know what? I'll even waive the special bonus episode at the end, so you don't have to do 400 days.
Oh,
I never
good.
did 400 days.
At 400 days takes like 5 minutes. It's kind of ridiculous. It's just like, here's what happened to all the people after you made those decisions, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that. Make sure you're doing the regular stuff, because that's creeping up on us real quick.
Mm-hmm. We're going to try to get it done next week, right?
Are we? I don't know. Let's continue on in early adopters. Hey guys, let me tell you about Kill It With Fire 2. There's a multiplayer. So Kill It With Fire, very near and dear to my heart. It is a game where you're hunting spiders. So Kill It With Fire 2 is a sequel, and what they have introduced is a multiplayer function for Kill It With Fire 2. And we got to try it. And there is a beta breakdown that is on YouTube. Alex can confirm.
Coming next week.
Coming next week. So if you want to see some of the wacky antics and fun that we had with Kill It With Fire 2, you could check that out. But what is it?
Now, hold on. I do want to hear a little bit about, from the two people who are inexperienced Kill It With Fire players.
Well, that's not me at all.
Joel and Alec. What did you tell us about Kill It With Fire, but also tell us what you thought about Kill It With Fire?
Two. Electric Boogaloo.
As well.
2-2. Nobody talk at once.
Proceed.
Oh, yeah.
Would you say succeed?
Proceed.
I thought you said concede. I concede. I don't want to do this.
Okay, I'm not going to do the staring contest. Kill a Fire 2. We did do the early adopter, the first Kill a Fire, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I did play a tad bit of one. My stopping point was more I'd pick this up later, and then things happened, and I moved on to other games, right? Kill It With Fire 2, this sort of matchmaking system, I don't think it has to be 4 people. I think the lobbies can be bigger.
Yeah, up to 8.
But it ends up being this team matchup between exterminators and spiders. The exterminator's job is obviously to kill the spiders, but they're also given a dollar meter or budget about how much they can damage in the house in trying to kill the spiders. And there are also collectibles like wads of cash that can increase your total budget. There's flamethrowers, there are pistols, there are
rocket
what
launcher.
else do we got? Rocket launcher.
Frying pan.
There's the
Frying pan.
There's the scanner.
The trusty clipboard.
Okay.
Clipboard.
So
that's real.
So a very good collection of wacky and zany stuff to destroy a house with. And then the spider's objective is to outlast the exterminators and survive until a timer goes up. The spider's experience, I really enjoyed. There's something very funny about being this tiny little creature while the exterminators are walking like giants around you in this normal living space. You have a hide button, so there are different areas in the level itself where you can cling yourself to a space that won't be really seeable at first blush. And then the exterminators have to use hearing to actually listen in. There'll be some sort of like skittering, almost mouse-like noise that happens. And they also have a web. So like part of the fun also is you can't really stay in one spot for too long because you'll be sniffed out by the exterminators. So you end up having to really sort of find your opportune moment to jump and maybe lay some web down, and it'll slow down the exterminators. I know, Daddy, I saw you like pre-match laying down webbing as traps just to slow them down. So
throw people off. You throw it on the other side of the map, and they're like, "Hey, it probably went over this way." No.
So there is a bit of strategy.
I definitely did that.
There's definitely some strategy that can be played into it. Something that actually at its core is a fairly uncomplicated experience. But it's also really wacky because if you're an exterminator, you got a flamethrower, and you're gonna lose $500 of your budget in 30 seconds. So it was a lot of fun, guys. I mean, that's sort of my central point, is that it's not going to be the most crisp thing, but it's that kind of wacky, zany thing that can be fun and competitive at the same time, which I don't think a lot of multiplayer games do that well.
Okay. Alec, what did you think about your time with Kill It With Fire 2?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Automatic wish list for me. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that this continues with the single player aspect as well, because I really want to get into it. This was a lot of fun running around as both the spider and listening for the skittering noises as the exterminator.
Yeah, and you just gotta imagine like the weapon selection gets bigger and more, and the spiders do attack, and they don't really like you can't like really die, but they do jump at you. There's exploding spiders. There's all these different types of them that come out, and again you have like Uzis and hatchets and all these different things that you like. Oh, it just becomes kind of ridiculous. Like you pull out your bag and it's just like, oh, here's the chainsaw and here's the flamethrower and here's the grenades, the thing of Molotov cocktails. You just whip them out and it's like, okay, this is crazy.
Yeah, it looks like in the preview reel that there were TNT and you're walking around a giant city setup where you're also looking for spiders and the whole city is destructible. It looks like it's going to go wild with it.
Yeah, and so Kill with Fire I think was like a very... It also, what's interesting is that you have these like levels, these little microcosm levels. It's like, oh, okay, I'm in a house, and then you're in a bigger house, and if you follow the logic, the exit point is not you walk in the front door, exit point is the back door, and as you open the back door, you see a gas station. Next level, convenience store, gas station. And it's supposed to be a story that you're following each level from next point to the next point, where you're like, somehow I'm in a lab, and oh, here's where they actually made these radioactive spiders that mutated into giant beasts. Weird. And that's so I assume, based on the ending of Kill It With Fire 1, again, that they were going to go into like a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Do you tell them about the gas station? Like, what happens at the gas station?
If you use fire near the tanks, the whole thing blows up.
You can blow up the gas station.
It's pretty fun. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden it says like, oh, you killed this many spiders, and that number just increases exponentially. I mean, the story is like the story. Like, you nuke the town.
It had it coming. That's the only way you can really get rid of
spoilers.
All the spiders.
That's not even the real spoiler, because then it gets even like that. That's like the ending, and then there's like a whole other sequence, and it's like, well, this is ridiculous. The last level is you in the wasteland, and then something crazier happens. It just keeps going, and that's what I'm saying. Is that like I'm curious as to where they're going with the story next, because it's out there.
Oh, it's gonna get crazy
in a fun way, with such a simple premise of like walking around the house and hitting spiders with a clipboard. Excited.
Very excited. I'm glad that you guys are excited, because this is just the right kind of stupid. How am I going to get rid of these spiders in my house? Flamethrower.
Can't be any spiders in the house if there's no house.
Yeah, but okay.
Big brain solutions.
Can't argue with that logic, but then I think you got other problems besides spiders. All right. We got one more game in Early Adopters this week. Who is excited to talk about Urban Explorers?
I like urban
parkour.
I'm a very mild urban explorer. I like to find some weird, like near my house, I've gone under the highway, like found like the underpass, and like found these different like sections that are just like, oh, this is just graffiti. This is like just graffiti practice. Like this is like out of nowhere. We're in the middle of the forest, and all of a sudden the highway cuts through right here, and it's like real kind of shady down there. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. Or our friend Dan used to go into like abandoned like amusement parks and stuff and take a bunch of photos. That was like a whole thing.
Well, this is that.
This is exactly that first person, almost simulator like, because of how like this is a sim, and because it's very specific. Its movement is very plotting. The things that you can do. Oh, I have to open up every single drawer, get very specific items, lock pick all of these different spots, and it's a get in kind of get out. I need to get these items, then get out situation. The problem I have is that all these places are like broken down, buildings and stuff like that with guards. And because it's such a simulator, those guard patrols are real hardcore. Like you just get arrested.
Yeah. Boom. They're going to tase you the second that they see you. No questions asked.
And it's not like a video gamey like, oh, I got tased, but I can like run away, or I can quick start back to where I was. It's like, no, that path you took where you were crawling the entire time, you have to do it again. and you have to be careful, and you have to watch. You hop over into this window, but then like watch out for that patrol, while also make sure you get this lockpick. And it's very plotting, and that's like both good and bad. It all depends if that's like the kind of simulator you're looking for. Joel or Alec, did you guys get a chance to play this?
Yeah, I ended up playing a little bit of it. It was not the kind of simulator I was looking for. It really felt like a little lack of direction with this demo, where you're going in, you're supposed to take pictures of interesting things, and like it doesn't. I need to know. I want an objective list of take a picture of this, take a picture of that other thing, take a picture of 5 different graffitis. You know. Yeah.
Okay. And I think this is more of a you need to have that spirit of what, like, and I'm not obviously it's not a problem with you. It's more like I think that's what the game wants. Is like this is for the people who do this on the weekends.
Yes, very much so. This was very realistic.
Yeah. Which is like it's cool. It's a very specific audience. And if you look at the trailer after you like cut out of the game, it gives you like a little mini trailer. The stuff that they do is really very cool. Like you are trying to access abandoned like factories by jumping from rooftop to rooftop. There are dogs involved, and there are ways to get the dogs out of there. There are crazy strangers and different like weird like there was someone tried to do a ritual here, which is also kind of creepy. It's a lot. There is a lot of atmosphere here and a lot of detail, and that I think is very like admirable. Getty, what did you think?
I found 7 coins.
I only found lockpicks, but I mean, again, I was very bad at avoiding those patrols.
That's all I found
like 5 coins.
I was tased 6 times in total, and I played for like 40 minutes.
I'm so sorry. Like I played I did 2 runs.
It's like I was playing,
and I was like,
it's like I was playing Payday 3 again.
We got tased a lot while we played that.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm with Alec here. It's not my kind of simulator, but it didn't seem too bad. There's the guards are so aggressive though, and even the cameras.
Really aggressive.
There's no real indication that there's even anything like, I'd like some cues or just a little bit more than what it was, like a question mark with some dotted lines around it when they're becoming aware of you, and it didn't help me that much. I was like, I'll just back away, and then it was like, nope, he saw me. All right, that's it. And I was running around in the dark.
It's real dark, and you get your flashlight. I was able to escape once or twice, but again, I was real bad, so I was like, "Oh, I escaped. Great. Let me just walk back in. Oh, he's not back yet. Oh, I'm tased again."
Yeah,
and I was kind of curious about where the escape route was, like if there was another exit, because like where they put you, there is no exit. Because I would like to go in, grab some stuff, and then be able to exit. But I think that you had to keep going further in to exit. And that's where I was like, okay, I feel like there should have been an exit strategy pre-entrance. So that way, if I'm like a not good at this kind of guy, I could go in, get something, and then leave. And then be like, okay, and I'm going to try it again later. Give me a little bit of progress.
Yeah. Checkpoints would have been great too.
Oh, I mean, but you have to make it far enough in to get a checkpoint. I walked in the window, took a left, tased. Walked in the window, took a right, tased. And it took me even a long time to figure out where there was a window in. Mm-hmm. I went around the whole perimeter, just like, where is an entrance into this building?
It took me like 30 seconds to find a window.
I went in. I was opening and closing the guard. Like there's a little like guard like building outside. And I was like, do I have to pickpocket something off of him? I was opening the door. He'd come out, and I was sneaking around the corner. No? Okay. And he'd close the door, and I was like, okay, am I supposed to do something with him? Like, what am I doing? Yeah, I really was, like, exploring the space, but not exploring the game. Yeah, it is what it is. Urban Explorers is pretty... It was entertaining for what I saw. I think that there is a market for this. I just don't know if that market's for me.
I don't know if I needed any more coins, but they didn't do anything. They were just like, you found a coin.
Well, I think, but the whole point is that you're supposed to be seeing what like
what it's
history, bits and bobs, and I think that that's really what they're looking for. So I'm sure if you had escaped with said coins,
then I would
the
have
game would have been like, oh,
been able
gotten-
to be
good job.
I'd become Nathan Drake, and I'd just use that to purchase more guns for my next adventure.
Yeah.
You don't get, urban explorers don't get. Well, I don't know. I don't know that urban explorers don't. Get
Alex,
guns. I guess I
you
don't
might
know
need a taser so you can tase the guards right back.
Yeah, I got tased a lot.
Should probably check your state and local laws before you go carrying guns
Urban
into
exploring.
Urban exploring.
You have no rights. Don't worry. Also, don't tase people for any bad reasons.
We're not your lawyer.
No, but we can suggest one. Alex has a guy.
I have a guy. I have several lawyers.
All right.
Depends on which you're looking
I
for.
think that that's enough nightmare fuel with all the spiders and being trapped in a TV show and then getting tased for one day. Let's take a break and think happy thoughts. We'll be right back. Hey, news! Alex has fleas! What are we gonna do? Let's hose him down with some refreshing news. He's not impressed.
I don't. Sure.
Alex!
Usually you gotta throw
Alex!
powdered sugar.
Alex!
Those are
Alex!
nice.
The lice hate the powdered sugar. Activision hints at a possible Guitar Hero revival. No. I'm good.
No,
I'm good.
Joel, baby, you want some of this Guitar Hero?
Joel, baby.
I feel like that'd be something really cool to bring home, show my kids, have them try once, and then sit in my closet.
You wouldn't dig deep?
You know what? I like the idea of Guitar Hero more than I like Guitar Hero.
I 100%. Come on, man. I 100% a trombone champ. You can 100% a Guitar
No,
Hero.
I want Alex to play Freebird on the hardest difficulty possible.
I could tell you right now, I have played Guitar Hero twice. 2 songs.
Freebird.
I've not played
Freebird.
I've played it twice.
I-
I said, yeah, I get it. Seems fun.
I feel like there was a period where Rock Band was in the
You guys made me play Rock
rotation
Band.
a bit.
I have played a significant amount of Rock Band. Sure.
The same 3 songs. We played 3 songs all night.
I would go
You
for
were there.
Rock Band more than I would go for Guitar Hero.
The Guitar Hero was around the time when I stopped playing video games. I played World of Warcraft. And Guitar Hero blew up, and I was like, yeah, that seems great. It's a good time. I'll press the buttons. I did it twice, and then I was like, your turn. And then no one ever handed me the guitar again.
That was the same time that Alex was deep into Skate. And Skate 2.
Yeah. What?
He was into the
little
Skate
bit.
1 demo.
I thought it was the Skate 2 demo. Or is it not the Skate 2?
No, it was Skate 1.
It
It
was
was Skate 1.
I remember you just like hop down in your chair and you'd be like, hey guys, what's going on? And then you just like biff it like 4 times in a row.
You should see me play Skater XL. It's exactly the same. It's the same. I get the same thing out of it. It's just me and a map, and I'm just doing tricks with no purpose, and usually biffing it more than half the time. I do those streams.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of doing tricks, you guys see this PlayStation 5 Slim? And how it can magically grow the disc parts? The ROM drive? What are we calling it?
It does look like a secondary, like, oh, by the way, you have a growth here, sir.
Just gonna stick this
You may
on.
have to drain
You
it.
might need to get that checked out, PS5.
It's called a goiter, and you may need to have that drained from time
No
to time.
boy, no.
It's okay. So it is significantly slimmer. The whole thing for me though is that for one, it is the one with the disk drive is the exact same price, as the regular PS5, and this will actually replace PS5s. They said once they've sold out, they will only have the Slim.
Ooh.
Then on top of that, The discless one, which was $400, is now $450.
Cool.
Those jerks.
Then, wait.
Wait.
If you would like to, for some reason, add a HD 4K Blu-ray drive, you would have to pay, was it 70 or $80?
80, I think you said.
$80. So you have now made your digital-only PlayStation 5 now $530 with a modular drive.
Mm-hmm.
And also, hey, Getty, you know that little stupid plastic clip that makes it so that you
barely
can have
holds
your...
up my system or keeps it from falling over? Yeah.
Yes. That now is an extra cost.
Ooh. I like it.
Yep. Extra cost.
This sounds like my
remember
job and what we do to customers. Like, oh, did you need to do that's an extra $50. Oh, did you need to cancel that one and do another one? That's $100. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And
that's the problem I'm having with this PlayStation announcement is like that clip really caught like you're charging people for that stupid like little paper clip that holds it together barely.
I want you to know that people are going to figure out a much cheaper alternative.
Oh yeah, people have been already making like you get a 3D printer, right? Everybody knows at least one guy who got real deep into 3D printing. You can just like, hey, can you spin this up for me? It'll take me 30 seconds, and they're like, yeah, that's fine.
They're just excited to have a reason to use it.
You have no idea that guy. I'm telling you, it was Alec and our friend Kevin, and they were like, oh yeah, look at the stuff I made, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Do you ever use it for anything kind of useful? And they're like, nah, I made this really cool design. And I'm like, that's you know what? That's fun for everybody. Awesome. Alec, have you ever 3D printed anything actually like really super duper useful?
Oh yeah, man! I got these headphone holders that clip onto my desk.
You know what?
Yeah,
okay,
that's smart. Yeah,
smart. I like it. Swedish Chef.
But you know what's not smart?
What's that?
I was going to read this next one, but it's actually kind of smart, so I'm going to jump to... Nope, I walked myself right into a dead end there.
No, leaking things on LinkedIn. No. That's not smart.
No. Well, I guess.
Yeah, leak things in on LinkedIn, yep. What was leaked on LinkedIn?
The Last of Us 2 remaster links on LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb. And also dumb that they were doing that. That's like, there's no point in remastering a PS4 game.
Yeah, I don't see any purpose in that. But I can't help but wonder if it's going to look even cooler.
Naughty Dog really needs, like, they're really having some issues over there right now. Like, their multiplayer game is pretty close to, if not entirely canceled. Like, new rumors are entirely canceled.
Ouch.
And that was the game that the Destiny folks said, hey, you need to fix this. And then instead they said, how about we just have some problems with staffing, a.k.a. people will not be working here anymore. Brutal.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about any of that. We're not talking about layoffs and how bad it is for anybody right now. So
it's a bummer. But
we will talk about all of these other things, like Thief Simulator 2 going 1.0. Salt Sea Chronicles goes 1.0.
Those are just some kind of cool indie games that have been around us that we've kind of like seen around and have looked kind of interesting. This think that we should be hyped that these indie games are kind of coming out. Thief Simulator was, if you do you remember was it the Border Patrol Simulator you guys played?
Contraband Police.
It kind of looked and played like that, where it's kind of super janky, but that's the fun of it.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
that's what Thief Simulator was, and now they made a sequel.
It wasn't janky. It was just like super ridiculous. It was like
you were like people were clipping through doors and.
I don't remember anybody clipping. I remember having to use my knife to cut through somebody's seat so that I could pull out money and cigarettes.
Yeah. I remember driving a truck into the woods, I think.
Yeah. Not on purpose.
No.
Driving in games is hard, guys.
Yeah, it is.
And Salt Sea Chronicles looks like a cool little jam.
Yep. So, all right, let's get these ones out of the way because I could live without them.
Hit
Hey, you guys know that Hellsing anime from, what was it, like the 80s? Like the
90s, like 92, right?
Was it 92?
Something like that.
I thought it was late 80s, but it could have been early 90s. Yeah, who's familiar with that? Joel, you know a lot about Hellsing. No? Okay.
Like three people total. Like we make up the people who know Hellsing. Alec, do you know Hellsing, right?
Yeah, I know Hellsing.
Okay.
I watched like 3 episodes of it.
That's all you needed.
Oh no, I love that series.
It's so over the top. But he's coming to Call of Duty.
Which who is this for? Like,
Us.
This is such a
Specifically
weird,
us.
oh,
But we're not
I'm
even
not
playing
Call of
Yeah.
Duty. Who's playing Call of Duty and then like being like, you know, it's pretty cool, that anime Hellsing from like the 80s. Pretty sweet, guys. Also, let me be Nicki Minaj and you be Hellsing, and then someone else be Godzilla, and then Getty can be the Titan from Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I got some problems with Call of Duty. I was never a fan, but it's starting to get kind of insane.
Well, I mean, but I think again we're going the route of like Fortnite, and I think that's it's so cool.
What?
But also, I'm just. It's
Did
cool
you say
in the way
Fortnite?
that, like, yes. Speaking of
Fortnite.
it's more the fact that like I just think it's cool that people are really digging in the crates for these properties, and it's like it's such a mainstream Call of Duty is such a mainstream thing, and then all of a sudden it's like Hellsing, crazy. I mean, sure, glad that someone is saying, hey, you know, it's cool, Hellsing, and I'm like, you know, yeah, Hellsing is pretty cool, good. Glad somebody said it.
Now you know.
Yeah. So this one dude who's going to be playing Call of Duty and being like, I'm going to Google this thing. Oh, it's an anime. Okay, I'm going to keep shooting people now.
This 8-year-old who somehow is allowed to play Call of Duty and just shrieks into his microphone is now going to go on YouTube and watch all the episodes of Hellsing.
No, what he'll watch is the FMVs made to Linkin Park.
No, he's going
and
to
then
YouTube.
say this is so cringe because it has Linkin Park.
And then we'll Google what Linkin Park is. Yes, again, this is
hey, you leave Linkin Park out of this.
Man, I just listened to a rap of Linkin Park in Latin.
I don't know what we're doing here. What is Joel doing
It's
here?
Linkin Park.
He's got a
Link in Park.
It's a picture of Link sliding down a slide at a park. I like it. But at the same time, what I'm saying is that this is a whole rabbit hole of like 8-year-old will Google, and then 8-year-old people will be like, that's weird. End of sentence. And that's fun to me. And I'm glad that Hellsing one of the 15 fans of Hellsing said, hey, I'm making Call of Duty. I should put my favorite character in. Be damned what anybody else thinks.
And they did.
I mean, there was supposedly a live action film that was coming out for it.
When?
It was announced in 2021. Amazon Studios was doing a live action adaptation of Hellsing.
All right.
I mean, to be fair, anime live action is so hot right now.
How hot is it?
It's so hot since the One Piece.
Say it. One Piece is so good.
I gotta watch it. It's on my list.
You're like,
let me finish Love Is Blind season 5, and then I'll watch One Piece.
Please stop. Please stop. But you know what else needs to stop? Shell. That's right, Shell, like the oil company. You're familiar with these guys? They're using Fortnite to, target the demographic most concerned with climate change.
Appeal to the youths.
The youths. So how better to make people aware by, like pumping it full of Jack Skellington, Michael Myers, Alan Wake. You had some Dragon Ball in there. Yeah, that's a demographic that needs to be concerned about climate change, and everybody that's 12. Please.
The Michael Myers ones is actually pretty cool because his emote also is him holding a knife and playing the theme song on a keyboard. It's pretty good.
I like Jack Skellington, but I also think it's weird to think of Jack Skellington brandishing a gun.
Yeah. Everybody's got guns.
Now, Getty, how do you feel about your hero Alan Wake being in it?
I mean, he was going to shoot you either way, so.
Yeah.
It's his nightmare.
Again, Fortnite continues to be a fascination that I have with just the randomness of it, but also at the same time I have nephews that are the age where they're like, we're playing Fortnite, we've been playing for 6 hours, and I'm like, great, who are you? The banana. I'm like, you're not Ripley? Who the hell is Ripley? Okay.
I'm the banana.
Hey, do you think about being Mike Lowry from Bad Boys? I don't know who that is, Uncle Alex. Okay. I guess that's just me. Watch me do this dab. Okay, that's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Your bananas dabbing and doing the floss dance.
Hey, Alex. You know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for freebies. Freebies.
Freebies.
Freebies.
All right. This week we got a handful. So let's just jump right into them. This week.
Wait, you missed the Theater Rhythm Bravely Default DLC.
Did you want to talk about it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I didn't think that it was super relevant. Who's played it since we tried the demo?
I just like Alec over there laughing at me, just going, I don't want to talk about it. I own the game. I have not played it.
How many of the DLCs have you bought?
I've owned the game. I haven't.
Alex.
Yes.
Freebies. Blazing sales over on the Epic Game Store.
Fast-paced pirate PvP game. Create your own unique pirate and ship, band together with other players to command your mighty vessel, explore different game modes, maps, weapons, ship types, and more, while eliminating other crews in epic battles on land and sea. Jump on someone else's ship,
Ooh.
and then give them... No, that was not on purpose. That was not on purpose. I have been drinking.
Swearing on accident.
That doesn't count. I'm not playing Lion King again. I don't want to play Lion King again. You could board other people's ship and then have cool battles and try to take over their ship. A lot of cannons firing and muskets flaring. This is like a lot of fun.
Okay.
Blazing sails on the Epic Game Store.
You know what else is on the Epic Game Store? Cube. And that's with a Q. UBE.
Have you guys played this series, the whole Cube?
There's cubes?
No.
Don't sound so disdainful.
I'm trying to understand. All related content, including Cube 2, main game and season. That doesn't tell me what this game is.
We're off to a great start.
It's a game.
I'm trying to get info. Oh, here we go. Here's Cube 2. Okay. It's a sequel to that's a sequel, yes, I understand. A stranded archaeologist, Amelia Cross, you must solve the puzzles of this mysterious world and find a way back home. It looks to be a little Portal-like. Yeah, it's Portal-like. It's a very you're in this room and figure out the puzzle to get to the end, and then next room.
Oh man.
You're moving cubes around.
Cubes.
Yes, you're moving cubes around. But again, very Portal-like. It seems pretty entertaining. Maybe you can pick up Cube 2 Ultimate Edition.
I see that next week we'll get The Evil Within for free on the Epic Game Store.
I have that.
Oh man,
I should play it.
Hope you guys like
play it again.
Evil Within.
2?
Just the first one. I want to give people nightmares.
Did you ever find that Did you ever go back for that Easter egg?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We got Spells and Secrets character creator over on Steam.
Shape your own student wizard at this cozy character editor of Spells and Secret. Dive into treasure trove of customization choices and get your character ready for the Wizard Academy of Greffelstein. I don't...
Just close enough.
Griffenstein. Is this a...
just close enough.
This is the character creator for the game that will be Spells and Secrets, which is a roguelite. Okay. It's a roguelike. So this is setting up for the game Spells and Secrets. Get prepared.
All right. We're going to...
I was hoping this was a character creator engine. But I guess not.
Guess not. We got Wicked Times over on Steam.
Wicked Times is an RPG manager auto battler. So if you make your party and they auto combat your enemies and you explore the world, collect gold, upgrade your equipment. Yeah, the third drink is what's called. And find new towns and activities that give you extra experience and gold along the way. They say gold a bunch. I will tell you what's interesting about this is that it's not your sprite-based animated characters. This looks to be photos. Huh. They're just put photos of a crab, and you're now fighting a crab, and it's like, that's crazy, fighting crab, but like photo of a crab. There's like a mongoose in here. There's like all of your characters are photos of people. That's kind of cool. The locations are pretty realistic as well. Like it says, oh, you have a log, and it's like it shows a picture of a log and someone sawing into it, and I'm like, that's all the books are real photos. This is very cool. This is it's an interesting idea. This is also in early access on Steam. Wicked Times.
I also like log.
It's log. It's big. It's heavy. It's wood.
What's that from?
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Ren and Stiffy.
Thank you.
Last one. Assemble with care over on your mobile device. First 4 chapters.
The reason why this is on here is that this was originally an Apple Arcade game. The first 4 chapters have now moved onto all mobile devices for free. It's a cute little indie game that is a text-based kind of like novella. You're reading a lot of information, but then the actual gameplay is you taking apart and fixing mechanical objects like tape recorders, record players, and other things, and you are doing it with not photorealism because it's cel-shaded, but it is very realistic. You're undoing screws, taking gears out, figuring out what's wrong, putting it back together, then text information about your life and the game.
Fancy.
Yeah, it looks like it's a lot of fun, and if you think about it, it's kind of it's an interesting idea to play a game where you're just taking things apart and putting them back together, and then also throwing in a wholesome, heartfelt, text-based story around it, like a wrapping of it. Gives you a reason to do it and care about what you're doing. It's pretty cool.
All right.
I'm currently playing this on my mobile device.
Right now? During the podcast?
No, Getty, no.
I don't know. It wouldn't be the first time somebody's been playing a game during the podcast.
Either way, the whole game looks to be roughly like 90 minutes. But for first 4 chapters, which is roughly 40 minutes of entertainment.
Of entertainment. Well, I hope that this news segment was entertaining for everybody else. We have to go take a break and discuss business stuff. We'll be back. Oh, we're back. Back with the Backlog Blog where, hey guys, there are no strings on me. I became a real boy this week in Lies of P. How's that make you feel?
I'm really happy that you enjoyed your time with this game.
Who says I'm done, Alex?
Are you going to dig deeper into it? I saw the beat list that it was added, and you don't add things until it's fully beaten.
I mean, it's beaten. Do I need to go back and play it 2 more times for the rest of the endings? Maybe. So many endings.
What did you think about the post-credit scene? We're jumping ahead
We
here.
can't talk about the post-credit scene on the podcast. Good try, though. So, Lies of P. We betaed this. We tried the demo. What was it, like 2 months ago? Thereabout. Maybe a little bit longer. You are Pinocchio. You're playing through him, trying to find Geppetto and, free this city from the
you find him pretty
the
early
robot occupation and try and figure out what's going on in the world because it is crazy out there. So what we saw in that demo, yeah, you find Geppetto. After that, there's more of those robots. But what you didn't expect to happen is that there's fast zombies in the next area. There's
zombies?
fast zombies. And then you know what happens?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You're like,
They learn how to use doors.
What'd you say, Alec?
They learn
They
how
learn
to
how to
use
love?
doors.
No.
They learn how to love.
Use doors. They just burst through doors. That's a real thing that happens. Constantly.
Now, the things I like about Lies of P, which I have not played, I passed that demo, but the things that I liked from what I've seen is the actual allusions to the real story of Pinocchio. You fight the Donkey Boys, right? Isn't like the like?
I mean, you fight,
but they're
pretty early on. You end up fighting the like circus master, who.
Yeah, but don't you fight like you? But you also fight like because there was a character that were like the ones that were always up to no good, that were like a
the
bunch
rabbits.
of like donkey.
You end up fighting.
The
rabbits. The way that they
and it's a bunch of boys just wearing rabbit masks.
What they do to shape the story is that there's different factions inside of the city. There are these sweepers that sided with the alchemists, and there's like a whole society of alchemists, and they're up to no good. But they all wear different animal masks. So there's a fox, there's a black cat, there's the rabbits. You'd fight a man in a donkey mask pretty early on. But it really varies what you need to be able to do through the course of the game.
But those characters though are reflections of like the teenage boys that are trying to cause trouble and make Pinocchio start to lie in the movies and books. And then I think one of them gets turned in. It's something with like one of them gets turned into a donkey, and then then in this he's wearing a mask, and that's like a cool allusion to that character.
Yeah, there's a lot of that written in. You have to make the connections. I don't want to spend too much time on it. What I want to tell you though, just some cool things that I came across. The weapons, you start out with just like regular stuff. It gets crazy. One of them's just like a giant mallet that's a robot arm. At one point, I reached pretty close to the end, and I made a little video for you guys. I threw it up on my YouTube. I lied enough that a picture of me had a nose, and I was able to pluck the nose off of the picture, and it became this incredible bow staff.
The nose became a weapon.
It's end game content. It is. I love that weapon too, but it deteriorates super quick during the course of battle. But the thing that really I loved about it was the arm upgrade. So being Pinocchio, you're a puppet, and you get different arm upgrades that you can equip. So one of them's a flamethrower, one of them's like an electric taser, one that drops landmines. So the level of customization and replayability does jump up when you add all of those things, along with the crazy weapons that you can try out and try and figure out what your playstyle is. But yeah, what Alex was trying to spoil, you got to stick around for the end of the credits, because it gets even cooler. Even if you're just not huge into these games, I would say Lies of P is not the most punishing of all of the Souls games out there. It is challenging. I'll tell you that there were a couple of bosses where I was hitting my head against the wall for a little bit, but nothing that was so terrible. Like, I played some mean ones, and I played some fun ones.
That was the biggest commentary I saw in this, is that it was actually a lot of people were complaining that this might be too easy.
Oh, darn. A game that I can play.
Well, you got to remember that the Souls people are real, there are a lot of gatekeeping that way. So they're like, this is too easy.
So it's super linear. You don't need to worry about getting lost. There's some explorability, stuff that you can find, but you don't have to worry about, Elden Ring. I would even say that Bloodborne is also a lot of a bigger environment, and this doesn't have as much of that, okay, now I go here, here, here. You can't get lost, really. You're on a path. So, I'm not trying to sell anybody on it, but...
No, I was sold on this beforehand, but these things are good things for me. I don't... I like, of course, an open world, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just want a good path and a good story, and this sounds like that's
story's good.
So then I'm okay with it being linear.
It's real crazy, guys. Check it out. Maybe. Up to you. Now, what we all really came to the podcast tonight for, Joel is going to talk about Robo Dunk.
So,
Let's be clear. It's about dunking with robots.
Yeah.
Who here likes robots?
I do.
Oh, yes.
Who here likes NBA Jam?
Yeah.
Like back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what if you played NBA?
I'll like it right now. I like NBA Jam right now. I'll play it right now.
He won't. He's out of control.
Now, how if that was just dunking? What if it was just dunking, and it was like half as fast?
What
What if we
you had me in the first part because I don't ever play. I don't play NBA Jam to be shooting threes. How about that?
So what's your win-loss ratio?
Not good.
I was fine from downtown, but I would never. But like being slower kind of puts it like that. That seems like a problem.
'Cause you're
What
robots.
what if you have power-ups, and what if there were hazards, level hazards?
Oh, baby, I always got power-ups. Right, Alex?
And I'm always a hazard.
So that's Robo Dunk in a nutshell.
Wait,
I
no,
see you
that's
have
not
hazard.
it. Come on. What kind of characters are we working with here?
Okay, all right. So let me set the stage here. There is a campaign mode in this, and there's also an exhibition mode. The campaign mode itself is a road light. It's got those sort of element loops. There's no real story going on, but they have the gameplay hook of winning match, gaining money, paying for permanent upgrades, and then paying for temporary ones. If you get a game over, then you sort of fall down and start from the beginning again and work your way up. This, I say story loosely, but it is played out in this very funny way. So when you first load the campaign, it takes you to like a screen where they show some gameplay. One of the robots is going up for a dunk, and then it freeze frames. And then there's a big 3-question statement there. And it says, "What are these robots? Why is the game played? Is dunk the meaning of life?"
I mean, it depends on what your prime.
It's
directive
always dunk, Alex.
So, the game structure itself, the match structure, it's 2v2 robots. You have different robot types that'll have different attributes like speed, power, jump, etc. You also unlock different like individual attributes, so you can have a number of things to install, like higher jump, or if you miss a shot, you won't get penalized by something, or a shield, right? So before each match, you end up picking from a selection of those and applying it to your two different robots. Mine, for example, I had sort of like a heavier, framed one that was slower, but he had a 3-bullet shot as his power move. And then I had a more nimble, jumpy one who had landmines you can install along you. And it does that NBA Jam dynamic very well, in that this game is really almost like a fighting game as much as it is a sports game. You're running up and down the court. You are shoulder checking people and knocking them down. You're trying to make quick passes and get just enough time to get the dunk in this case. One difference is that your jump is a 4-button meter, so that if you hold it down to 1 meter and then jump and dunk, 1 point. If you hold it all the way up to 4, dunk, 4 points.
Okay.
It also changes the height. So, like, 1 is like, okay, whatever, 2, 3, and then 4, you're like jumping into outer space. And then just going crashing down. They do the really cool, like, you're bending down the actual hoop. not quite glass shattering like NBA Jam would, but it still pulls off that kind of cool aesthetic in that way. I think the challenge I've had a little bit is that pace a bit. I mean, when I play NBA Jam, one thing I remember is it's blazing fast. And that was part of what really felt great. It's a really snappy, arcadey game. And this slows it down to a pace where it almost becomes too defensive focused. Most matches are going to end under 10 points after 2 or 3 rounds, depending on what combatants you're facing. I would rather have something a little more high scoring, high flying. I think some of the stage hazards too can be a little bit too punishing. So sometimes it'll literally just be like a laser shot that goes through your entire arena, or bars that sort of roll back and forth. And between trying to navigate basically being in a fist fight with other robots and trying to deal with those, it just becomes just a tad too off the rails, which is, it's weird to describe a slower game like that, but that's what it does to the tempo of the gameplay. Overall, it is fun for what it is. I don't regret trying it. I think you have to be a very specific fan of this format of game, but also willing to try something that's not going to really scratch the same itch. But
there needs to be new entries into the genre. It can't just be the one.
Sure, I mean it goes. It's like any other of these indie, either revivals or homages, right? It goes back.
It tries to expand in itself and establish its own identity, but also does very similar to a lot of other things you would see in the original.
You're basing it off the foundation and then building the way you want to see what a current day version might be to you, or some twist. And this person likes robots, or this developer likes robots. And
I mean, you did a poll at the start of this conversation, and you got a full room full of hands, man.
Yeah, we're sold on this. How can I become robots?
Or at least sold on robots. I'm sold on robots. How about that?
I can dunk too.
Fair. Can you?
I mean, maybe the question is, I can has dunks?
Oh no.
You like those Dunkaroos, don't you?
No. Have you tried the revival Dunkaroos? It's trash.
No, why would
They
I?
changed the formula.
It's trash. Not good.
Sometimes you can't go home.
No,
again,
you can never go home. We can never go back to Ravenholm, Alex.
Nope.
Can we go back to Ravenloft?
This weekend. We'll see
All
how long
right.
you survive.
Can the hobbits go back to Isengard?
No, because we're taking them there. This whole exchange makes me sad.
Like just a string of dated references.
Yeah.
I'm
old.
Internet humor.
Okay.
What would you call this? Internet boomer humor? Is that what it would be?
Yes. Yep.
We're not boomers.
Boomer is a state of mind, Daddy. It's no longer a generation.
Okay, boomer.
No, it's a
Okay, boomer.
generation. And I'm not sorry.
Even the okay boomer girl is old.
Is she?
Yeah, but still has braces. Adult braces.
Adult braces. Okay. Just a quick reminder, Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1 homework for our spooky episode is due soon.
Also, Getty, we have reminders for everything.
Do we?
Check out our YouTube channel to find the travel vlog. What else we got? We got Extra Life. Please donate and join our cause for Extra Life in the Children's Miracle Network. We have the first weekend of November doing our 25-hour stream.
No,
Daylight savings,
we're
guys.
doing 24. You're not getting an extra hour. Alex. Alex.
What? You follow the rules, Getty. It's the time.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, the daylight savings time kicks in after midnight, so we're not.
Yeah.
No.
You're not getting 25 hours.
26
No.
hours?
No.
How is it going up? You get 24 and you're happy about it.
Either way, donate to our Extra Life. Hang out. Come watch us. Twitch.tv/SuperGGRadio.
You good? Anything else you want to toss in there?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
drinkpoggers.com. Offer code good game.
What's that get you? 10% off? 50% off?
Your order. They now have a mango?
A mango hydration.
Mango.
There. Mango
Rhymes with Rango, which was also a movie. All right.
I never watched that movie.
One last thing. This week's One Last Thing is brought to you by the looming threat of Spider-Man 2 in the distance. That's like 7-8 days away from today. So deal with it, Alex.
I sold three games and it was like $15.
$15 towards your game.
No, I paid enough that the game was actually
that's
$15.
good. You gotta use it, because if you don't use it, you lose it.
I know, and then I also have like the $5 bonus or whatever.
Oh, $5 footlong. We should head over to Subway after you get your game.
I hate Subway.
You gotta eat fresh.
Yeah, it ain't great.
I haven't had Subway in years.
We'll change that.
By design.
All right.
Let's get a Casey's pizza from the gas station.
One last thing. My one last thing is, guys, I gotta find something to plug in while I have Spider-Man on hold. I finished Liza P.
Cocoon.
Yeah, that's
Cocoon.
I have to do stuff to get that, don't I? Do I have to pay money?
Yes.
No, I'm just gonna do Backlog. Cut it out. I'm not you. Alex, your one last thing.
I will be, but by the time this is out, I would have already been on Game Mess Mornings, the Giant Bomb news show, Friday at 10 a.m. There will also be archives. There will be lots of different retweets and stuff to that effect, because I will be a shill and shill myself.
Joel.
I guess I'll be a shill too and say keep track of our YouTube for continued coverage of Steam Next Fest. I have plenty of demo footage that I'll be loading up there, and yeah. Also, you guys know that I've been sort of complaining about my PS5 usage, so I did what any good person would do and put in a PS4 game and started playing that.
What'd you play?
Nice.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Isn't that like
Isn't that a PS2 game?
They did a
remade it.
remake on PS4.
It's real pretty.
Reshadowing. Oh, no, wait, I played that. It was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's real pretty.
Yeah, it's a real good game. You should finish it, or you should go back and finish Armored Core. Alec.
You know, I am going to be focusing on Walking Dead.
Yeah, walk it
It's
out,
my
buddy.
spooky game. Yep.
Walk it out.
Have
That's the only
you
game
started it, Alec?
I have not.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Just gonna dig into it tomorrow.
All right. Just remember, the game makes you feel bad.
Awesome.
Also, be okay looking at a guide.
No.
No.
What do you need? What do you need a guide for?
Guide.
No.
Nope. Everybody's gonna die.
That's the point of the whole thing.
You're just
It's
literally
not about making
reading.
the optimal choices. It's about making choices and living with the consequence.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I meant. It's not about the choices that way. The guide is like, if you're sitting at a puzzle for like 15 minutes and you're missing something, like 15, 20
What
minutes.
puzzle?
I don't remember much
Like,
in the way of puzzles there.
What puzzle was this?
What? It's an adventure game. Do you guys not remember adventure games?
This is
You find it.
this is like one of the first adventure games where they eschewed a lot of the puzzling. There's still like collect this piece and
No,
bring
I was
it over
I-
here, but
Yeah.
No, I was in one recent. I was in the first episode. I did not realize that there was a pillow that you could grab. I was going back and forth between 3 different scenes, back and forth, looking for any indication that would tell me you could grab this one item.
Alec, when you start the game, make sure that you enable the regular version, which highlights all of the interactables in the environment. Solution presented. You do not need a guide.
So it's like when I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 and I just have control down all the time.
Does that highlight everything?
Everything I can. Yep.
Yep, there you go.
So the game will tell you, hey, these are all the things that you can touch. So
I don't think I ever did that for when I played it originally either. But I will
it's
also
the regular
tell you,
version of it.
there's no regular version versus regular version. It says, hey, do you want to do this or not? And I said, no, it's fine. Also, at the same time, I will tell you, I don't know if the Vita was the best spot to start bringing this back in.
No, it's not.
Because it's like, because I remember having no problems with the Vita, and then now I'm watching it and being like, ooh, this runs kind of rough on the Vita. There was one scene where it's like your character falls on the ground and then he's supposed to get up and sit and do something like very dramatic. And my character, when he got up, the game didn't write his it didn't correct, like, make him stand up fully. It actually just showed him standing up, but still sideways lying down, and he ran across the scene sideways. And I was like, that's really
There was
good.
a period old time
That's
for
really
the
good.
old Telltale where they really stretched the limit of where their games could reach. Because I know Vita was one of them. We actually played The Wolf Among Us on the PS3, PS3 version, and boy, are the load times terrible, stuttering, like awful clipping, terrible experience, great game.
And funny enough, this is actually the first time I played this was on the Vita. That's why I was like, I'll play this again on the Vita. But I'm thinking now, like, oh, that wasn't the best choice.
Nah, I'm playing it on my Steam Deck.
There we go. That's the move.
You might be okay. All right.
He's fine.
We survived. That'll do it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Twitter. What's Twitter? You can find us on the internet at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays are the podcast night. You could be watching us talk.
Well, Getty, let me do this one.
No.
Throw it to me.
Fine. Go.
Thursday is the podcast where you can watch us record our weekly podcast.
You said podcast so many
hanging out
times.
with our friends around 8:30 p.m. on the Central Standard Time. Saturdays, Joel, you guys streaming or no?
I'm not even
Right.
going to pretend this week that I'm going to stream.
Mondays is for Monster Hunting, as Alex is playing his way through Monster Hunter Rise. Monday, Monster Hunting. Wednesday, Joel is still trying to, what is it called? Brute force. You are brute forcing some Lion King on the Sega Genesis. How you liking that brute force of that game? That game is rough, isn't it?
The beatings will continue until Lion King improves.
That will not
I just
happen.
can't wait for you to be king.
You haven't even gotten to the part I've been complaining about, which is that waterfall. Getty, back to you.
You just tossing it right back. Are
how it
you
works.
not Skeeter excelling?
I'm putting again. I'm not remodding it right
Okay.
now. It's just a lot of work and being in the office 24/7.
Just checking to see if that was a thing that we're doing. Okay, then that's it. We really did it this time. Okay. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alec.
GG.
We're champions.